Hello everyone and welcome back to the Model Railway series. As you can see in front of us we have my modular board, which represents Outwell Base and Depot on the Wisbech and Upwell Tramway. But the reason we're here today is to talk about these things, points, and more specifically wiring tube points, which if you look towards the back here you'll see we can control the point remotely, and the switch at the back, not only does it switch the direction of the point blades, it also controls the polarity of this section here, the frog. So how do we do it? Well, there's many ways you can do it, and what I'm going to describe to you isn't the way to do it or the only way, should I say. This isn't an original idea. I didn't come up with it. Many other people have done this in the past. This is just how I do it. And you may come up with a different way and a better way, but just thought I'd share how I do it. So, as I say, it's wiring tube, which there's a tiny little section all the way along here, which is just cocktail straws joined together, and there's piano wire that is drilled and threaded through the block of the switch and runs through, goes through a 90-degree angle and comes up into the bottom of the Pico switch here. So when you throw it, it moves like so. So that's brilliant. Now, the wiring is the next stage. So let me just grab something with a white background to make it a bit easier to see. Okay, not perfect because we've got a bit of light glare, but it will serve for our purposes. So this is an ordinary out of the pack Pico electrofog switch or point, and as you can see it's got this little wire which is attached to the frog there that comes out here. So this works for, it's mainly for DCC, but also works just as well for DC. So as you can see, that throws the switch, and that little hole in the middle there, that is where the piano wire sticks up into and controls the throw of the switch. So how I wire it is, if you look just here, you can see there's two tiny bits of wire that connect the frog to the point blades. So first of all, you're going to want to go ahead and snip them. And if you do that, be sure that you're going to commit to this, because once you break them connections, there's no going back unless you resolder them connections, because now your frog part, which is this part here, is isolated from the switch blades. Now, for reliability and current, what I like to do is cut out the webbing just here and here and solder a piece of wire across there and across there, so we're electrically joining this blade to this rail and this to this. Now it's not essential that you do this, but it means that you're not reliant on this connection for power into here. And then obviously the wires come out, run off the bottom and be wired into your power bus. And then your frog wire, which is this one here, you simply thread that through your baseboard, and then you attach a wire to the bottom of that, and that goes to the middle part of the switch. So there's 3 contacts on the bottom of the switch. That will go to the center one, or it does on mine, but you need to check your particular switch and the wiring diagram for that, because it could be the top one. But I digress. So that goes to the switched feed, and then the other 2 points on the switch will get a positive and a negative feed, and then when you flick the switch, it controls whether this wire has a positive or a negative feed into it, which will be based on which way this switch faces, whether that's getting a positive or a negative. Now what you need to do is, as you can see here, it's got a plastic or nylon fish plate on it. You need one of those on both of these points, because otherwise when you throw it, you're going to cause an electrical short, and yeah, nothing's going to run. So that is essentially how I do it. Let's say it's not the be all and end all. You may do it differently, but that's just how I like to do it. Let's say having that connection over there and then feed down into the bottom ensures that you're not reliant on these blades making contact with the main rail, outer rails for your contact, because we did have it on the modular layout that when someone had done their ballasting and scenery, a tiny microscopic layer of glue was along sort of this inside edge, and that was enough that when the point was switched, it stopped the electrical contact, and so the switch was essentially dead. So what we had to do was get in there with a fine screwdriver and sort of get all the glue out and what have you. But having that bit of wire across there just takes away that possibility of unreliability. If you're worried about getting a wire in there, one alternative, and I only come across this quite recently, is these are the staples you find in heavy duty boxes. So if you've had a large package delivered, you may have a box with some of these in, and what you could do is cut the webbing away, straighten this out, and simply solder that. So if we imagine, just put a bend in, so you'd solder that across those 2 rails, and then this bit could feed through your baseboard, and then you just solder under the baseboard to this. So anyway, that is wiring tube with polarity control. Let me know your thoughts down. Is there anything you'd improve on? Anything you do differently? I'd love to know, because, you know, there's no such thing as too much knowledge. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.